Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello students, welcome to second Accountancy online classes. Friends, in the previous class we have solved a problem on that is problem of Durga Sports Club Koratagiri, right? Now let us move on to the next problem, problem number 5, question bank, page number 8, problem number 5, right? So I will read out the problem, a bit complicated one. So concentrate properly because here the problem given is in a different fashion. So we should be very careful in such cases. Okay, let me read out the problem and we will solve the problem. Okay. Following are the balance sheet and receipts and payments account of Malnad Sports Club Chikamagaluru. Opening balance sheet is given 31st March 2017. So concept is April March. Remember, April March concept, not January December concept. Clear? Yes. Outstanding salary, that means at the beginning of the year there was outstanding salary, which means last year's outstanding salary. So we have to be careful regarding this. Outstanding rent of last year, then subscription received in advance belongs to current year, friends. Last year they received subscription in advance means what? This year's subscription was received during last year. Am I correct? But it belongs to which year? Current year. So it should be added to, that is subscriptions, right? Capital fund, opening balance of capital fund. Cash at bank, outstanding subscription. See again, outstanding subscription of last year. That means it is not belonging to current year, isn't it? Investments, sports materials, furniture. Let us take up receipts of payments account. Opening balance is given. It is not required for us to prepare anything because opening balance sheet is given, right? If opening balance sheet is not given, if we are supposed to prepare opening balance sheet and we are supposed to find out the opening capital fund, then we have to prepare opening balance sheet. There the cash balance, whatever you write on the asset side, is this one, starting balance. To balance brought down, whatever it is, 52,400 there, that should be the cash balance in the opening balance sheet. See, if you refer here, you will see the same thing. Cash at a bank in the opening balance sheet 52,400. Receipts of payments account, to balance brought down 52,400. Am I correct? Understood now? If they give opening assets and liabilities and if they ask you to prepare opening balance sheet, then prepare opening balance sheet, and in that cash in hand or cash at a bank will be the starting balance, to balance brought down of receipts and payments account. Remember? Clear? Then subscriptions. See friends, this is a bit different. 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19. Which is our accounting year? Our accounting year is, as the receipts of payments account is given on 31st March 2018, 17-18 is our accounting year. 1st April 2017 and ends on 31st March 2018. So the 16-17 and 18-19 given is previous year and next year. Agree with that? Do you agree that? Yes. So 16-17 means last year, 17-18 current year, and 18-19 is next year. So be careful. Now our point is subscriptions 16-17 4,800 is received. At the beginning it is given in the opening balance sheet subscriptions outstanding. How much? 4,800. This is received during current year, so no headache for us. You need not add or deduct this because they told last year it was outstanding. this year it is shown separately. While showing the total subscription received, they told very clearly this is last year's, this is current year's, this is next year's received in advance. So what you have to do is you have to take only 17-18 figure without bothering about 16-17, because we are concerned only about current year while preparing income and expenditure account. Am I correct? Yes. So last year it was pending, this year we have received. It is not included in current year's figure, so we need not deduct it. If this bifurcation of year is not wouldn't have been given, then we should deduct it from the current year's figure. But we assume that it is included in current year's figure. Here 90,200 is specifically related to current year, and it is not inclusive of last year's or next year's figure, because last year and next year's figures are separately given in the problem. Are you getting it? Yes. So that is what we should make sure. Now 18-19 is given subscriptions. That means subscription received in advance for the advance of the next year during current year. This year we have received the subscription of next year. It is not belonging to current year. So it need not be deducted because it is separately given. It is not included in current year's figure. Am I correct? But this should be shown as a liability, because income received in advance is a liability. We are not eligible to receive it, but we have received it in advance. So it is our liability, so it should be shown on the liability side of the balance sheet. That is 18-19, 4,200 should be shown as a liability on the liability side of the balance sheet. Then donations, if nothing is mentioned, general income side. If any instruction is given, as per the instruction. There, yes. Entrance fees, if nothing is mentioned, income. If anything is mentioned, then as per the instruction. Clear? Then interest and income. It is an income. Sale of old sports materials. Whenever match occurs, there will be some old sports materials, used sports materials, which will be disposed, isn't it, as scrap. So it is a routine one, recurring in nature, so it is an income. Then by rent on the credit side. See, 16, 17, 17, 18 is given. 16, 17, refer opening balance sheet, rent outstanding was 800. And on the payment side, it is given as 16, 17 rent paid related to last year is 800. Separately given, it is paid. It is not included in current year's figure of 8,800. So you need not deduct it. You should not deduct it, because current year rent paid is separately given in the problem. Last year's rent paid is separately given in the problem. So it will not affect anywhere. Clear? Yes. Then salaries, again same thing. Last year's, current year's, next year's, three figures are given. So current year figure we have to take, and next year figure given 2,400 for 18-19 should be treated as asset, because salary is an expense. Expenses paid in advance is a liability. It's a liability. We have to make sure that it is a liability, and salary paid 2,400 we have to treat it as a liability in the balance sheet. Is it? Is it? No. Expenses paid in advance is an asset. It is an asset because if the salary is not paid in advance, next year's salary wouldn't have been paid, then your cash balance could have been more. As you have paid next year's salary in advance, your cash balance has decreased. Cash is an asset. Am I correct? So salary paid in advance is also an asset. It should be shown as an asset in the balance sheet. Then printing, no doubt, is an expense, expenditure. Revenue, general expenses, again revenue, that is expenditure. Furniture, see, date is given 31st March. I told you, whenever date is given within bracket, there is some hidden point. Immediately it should strike in your mind that something is hidden. So think on that and then act. So here furniture 31st March 2018. It was purchased on the last working day of the year. That is 31st March 2018. Correct. So here you have to make sure that is the asset was purchased, furniture was purchased on the last working day of the year. If we have to charge depreciation, depreciation will not come on this. Just because it was not there in the business till the end of the accounting year. When we will charge depreciation? When the asset is there in the business. If the asset is not there in the business for the entire year and we purchased that asset on the last working day of the year, no question of charging depreciation on that. So if depreciation is asked in the adjustment part, then we have to charge depreciation only on the opening balance of furniture and zero depreciation on the additional purchases, because the furniture additional purchase was done on the last working day and that additionally purchased furniture was not there in the business for the entire year. Clear now? Yes. Then again, sports materials, it is stated that 1/10/2017, 1st October 2017. Additional purchase of sports materials was done on 1st October 2017. That means in between the year. Those additional furniture purchased were not there in the business. Additional purchase of sports materials were not there in the business from 1st April to 30th September. And those sports materials were purchased on 1st October means if depreciation is to be charged, it should be charged from the date of purchase till the end of the accounting year. In this case, 1st October to 31st March of the next year. Only for 6 months we have to charge depreciation. Is it clear? Yes. Closing balance of cash, balance sheet, first item on the asset side, right? Let us move on to the adjustment part. Subscriptions outstanding rupees 5,600. That's current year outstanding subscription. We have to add it. Add it to the current year figure. Correct? Yes. Printing unpaid, expenses pending, outstanding printing due, isn't it? That should be added. That should be added to printing in the income and that is expenditure account on the expenditure side. Then outstanding expenses is a liability. Outstanding income, subscription outstanding is an asset in the balance sheet, correct? Then interest accrued, that is interest is on the income side, that is the receipt side. So on the income side, accrued interest, that is interest, inner column, add accrued interest. We have to add it because it belongs to current year income receivable, correct? Then depreciate furniture and sports materials by 10% each. See, I told you, whenever there is a date, hidden point is there. See, now depreciation. I already told you regarding the adjustments. Furniture 10% on the opening balance for full year and zero depreciation on the additional purchases because it was done on the last working day of the year. And both these amount, that is the amount whatever you get plus zero, that is additional purchases, should be debited to income and expenditure account. On the expenditure side, you should show that as non-cash expense, depreciation on furniture, you have to write the amount. And in the closing balance sheet, furniture, inner column, add purchases during the year, less depreciation. Clear? Then sports materials by 10%. Here also you have to write sports materials inner column in the balance sheet on the asset side, add additional purchase during the year or additions during the year or purchase during the year, total minus depreciation. While charging the depreciation, on the opening balance for the full year and on the additional purchases for 6 months you have to charge depreciation. That is from the date of purchase till the end of the accounting year, only for 6 months. Clear? Then both the depreciation amount should be added together and should be debited to income and expenditure account, should be shown on the expenditure side as to depreciation on sports materials. Capitalize 50% of donations. I already told you 50% capitalized means 50% revenue. So that is donations, 50% should be shown on the income side and 50% should be added to capital fund on the liability side of the balance sheet. Is it clear now? Yes. Now let us solve the problem. Start writing. Draw the columns. Write column headings. Malnad Sports Club Chikkamaluru. Malnad Sports Club. Chikkamaluru. Okay. Income and expenditure account for the year ending. Income and expenditure account. For the year ending. Year ending 31st March 2018. March 2018. Write column headings. Debit, credit. Particulars JF and amount in rupees. Provide for JF column. Let us start expenditure side. Expenditure, income, right? To rent. No change as it is. Take only current year's figure 8,800. Don't ask me, so sir, there is a last year's rent is there, isn't it? Separately paid. It is paid separately and amount is shown separately, not included in this, so no question of deduction. Clear? Salaries account, that is 46,400. Again, only current year's amount you should take, that's all. Anything outstanding salary is given? No. Then printing, inner column 15,200. Add outstanding printing. That is printing due or printing unpaid, isn't it? 1,000, 16,200. Then to general expenses account. General expenses account, how much? 10,800. 10,800. Depreciation of furniture. $30,000 to $800 into 10%. So 3,280. 3,280. Then depreciation of sports materials. sports materials. You can prepare a working note for this and you can quote the working note and write the entire amount, total amount, isn't it? Under that, 43,600 into 10% for full year, right? And 57,600 is additional purchases made. 57,600 into 10% for 6 months, that is half year. 6 by 12 or 1 by 2 makes no difference, right? So 4360 and 2880, 2880. So together it will be 7,240. 7,240. That's all. Let us move on to the credit side, that is income by subscriptions. I told you subscription is a common item in, that is not for profit organizations. Inner column 90,200. Then subscription received in advance, add subscription of current year received during last year, refer your opening balance sheet, isn't it? Subscription received in advance, on the liability side it is there 4,000 which belongs to current year, but they received it in advance during last year, so add 4,000. Then outstanding subscriptions, add outstanding subscriptions, that is of current year, right? Given in adjustment part, outstanding subscriptions 5,600. 5,600. Yes, it is. That's all. Add it together and write the total subscriptions 99,800. 99,800. Then by donations 50%, right? Donations 50%. Is it? 50% donations are to be capitalized. Yes, it is. So it will be 16,200. 32,400 is the amount of donations given in the problem. Donations, yes, it is. So 16,200 is 50%. Then entrance fees. Entrance fees, nothing is mentioned in the problem, so 65,200 is to be treated as revenue. Then interest, how much? 2,800. Inner column there is interest due, accrued interest or interest receivable, isn't it? Accrued interest. Accrued, how much? 800. So 3,600. Add it together. Then last one is sale of old sports materials. Old sports materials. Remember, if by mistake if they give sale of sports materials, then how will you treat capital or revenue? Sale of sports materials. If you write capital, then also it is correct. But don't write capital, you write revenue only, because the very definition of not-for-profit organization is non-trading. They are not engaged in sale of items. So if they purchase sports materials, and if they sell, that is trading activity. If old sports materials are sold, that is fine, they are disposing the scrap, isn't it? Once it happened, in the same way they gave some items like sale of some equipments or something they gave. Sports materials, yes, same thing, same sports materials they gave, sale of sports materials, they forgot to write old. There was controversy, capital revenue. Actually sale of sports materials is capital because it is an asset. Sale of asset should be treated as capital. But the very definition of not-for-profit organization says it is not engaged in any trading activity. Correct? So then it should be old only. So should be treated as revenue. Remember. How much it is? 2000. That's all. Close it. Find out the difference. See which side is greater and there is a transfer to capital fund. Which side is greater? Credit side is greater. So 186,800 is the total of credit side. 1,86,800 is the total of credit side. Then write the same total on the other side. 1,86,800. Find out the difference. It is 94,080. 94,080 is the difference. That is nothing but credit side is greater, income is more than the expenditure. That means to capital fund surplus. To capital fund surplus balancing figure. Capital fund transferred. Okay, that is what you have to do here. That's all. Then balance sheet. Let us move on to the last part, balance sheet. Balance sheet as on or for the year ending. For the year ending March 31st, right? March 31st, 2018. 2018. Yes. Draw the columns. Liabilities, amount in rupees. Assets, amount in rupees. Write column headings, very important. Let me start. Asset side first, cash at bank, that is the final balance of closing balance of receipts and payments account. Cash at bank, it is not cash in hand, or refer the problem. 60,800. If we are supposed to prepare opening balance sheet, there cash in hand, cash at bank will be the opening balance of receipts and payments account. Remember, clear? Investments. Investments, how much? 5,200. 5,200. Sports materials. There are adjustments. Inner column. Sports materials. 43,600. 43,600. Add additions. Additions. How much? 57,600. 600. Total 1,01,200. 200 less depreciation. Depreciation right here within bracket. How much it is? Sports materials 4360 and 2880. 4360 and 2880. Together deduct it. 7240. 7,240. So how much it will be? 93,960. 93,960. Yes, then furniture. Furniture 32,800, inner column there is adjustment. Add purchased. How much? 48,000. 48,000 total 80,800. 80,800 minus depreciation 3280. Only on that is opening stock, opening balance of furniture, depreciation 3280. Right in outer column 77,520. 520. Then outstanding subscription. Outstanding subscriptions. How much? 5,600. Then accrued interest, that is interest receivable, right? Accrued interest is an income 800. Then comes salary paid in advance is an asset. Salary expenses paid in advance, it is paid in advance. How much it is? 2,400. 2,400, that's all. Your asset side is done. Let us move on to the liability side. Outstanding printing expenses. Outstanding printing expenses. Printing expenses 1,000. 1,000. Subscriptions received in advance. Subscriptions received in advance. Received in advance 4,200. Capital fund. Capital fund. Capital fund. Opening balance. Opening balance. How much? 130,800. Then surplus, isn't it? Refer your income and expenditure account. Surplus. How much? 94,080. 94,080. 94,080. Then capitalized receipts, add donations 50%. They told us in the problem to capitalize 50% of donations. How much it is? 16,200. Together, write it in outer column 241,080. 2,41,080. Isn't it? That's all. Write the total. It agrees. Total is 246,280. 246,280. 246,280. That's all. It's done. Not for profit organization. That is problem number 5 is done. I think I'll solve 5 to 6 more problems. Then we will stop, because very important chapter. From this you will get 12 marks on problem, and again one practical oriented question will be there. So make sure you will learn this in a detailed manner. Now take down assignment. Last problem I am taking now, that is example 5, practical oriented questions, page number 18 it is given, example 5. Take this as assignment problem. Classify the following into revenue and capital item. Classify the following into revenue and capital item. First one, carriage paid on goods purchased. Carriage paid on goods purchased. Yes, what it is? Carriage is an expense, isn't it? General expense it is. So, revenue. And whenever you purchase goods, a carriage expenses will be there to bring the goods or maybe sending the goods, isn't it? So, revenue expenditure. Second one, salary paid to groundman for upkeep of ground. I told you, cleaning the ground, isn't it? For that, some laborers have been appointed, or a permanent person will be there to do the cleaning work of the ground, isn't it? So, to keep the ground intact. So, that is it is continuous one, it is routine in one in nature. After every match you have to do it, isn't it? So, it is revenue expenditure. Salary paid to groundman for upkeep of ground is revenue expenditure. Next one is sale of old sports materials. Second one was salary paid to groundman, groundmen for upkeep of ground, upkeep, UPKEEP, upkeep of ground. Okay, I told you revenue expenditure. Then next third one is sale of old sports materials. We have already come across regarding this. That is, when we sell old sports materials, we will get money, right? So it is receipt. Very simple. So it is routine in nature. So revenue receipt. Locker rent paid. Locker rent, we have to pay rent yearly, on a yearly basis. Every year we have to pay, routine in nature. So it is again revenue expenditure. Locker rent paid is revenue expenditure because we are paying the rent. So expenditure, correct? Locker rent means we hire the locker in banks, isn't it? They will give us a safe deposit locker in which we can keep our valuables. Maybe that is the people who have more jewels, more cash, they will sometimes keep in a locker, isn't it? So that is the order of the day. Because other thing is that will be safe and no chance for robbery, isn't it? Yes, locker rent is revenue expenditure. Interest on loan taken from, not from it is, it should be for construction of building. Interest on loan taken for construction of building. See, any loan raised for capital purpose or constructing a building is creating an asset. So any interest paid should be added to the cost of the building. I have borrowed 1 lakh rupees and I have constructed some small building, and I have paid maybe 10,000 rupees as interest on that 1 lakh. Total cost of the building will be 1 lakh plus 10,000 interest incurred. Ultimately we have to pay, isn't it? We cannot pay from our pocket. So that is again expenditure for creating an asset is always capital, remember, is always a capital. So this interest on loan taken, simply interest on loan is revenue expenditure. Clear? For a specific purpose, constructing a building, then it is capital expenditure. So submit the assignment on time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.